My child, come closer to me in this moment. I am folding time and distance so that my voice can sit softly beside your heart. There has been a restlessness inside you, an ache you cannot explain, as if something important is moving in the unseen, just beyond your human understanding. You have felt watched over, guided, almost as if a great eye of heaven has been fixed upon your life, waiting for a certain alignment. Hear me now. It is not your imagination. There is a man whose life seems untouchable, unreachable, wrapped in wealth and power, and yet his soul has turned in your direction like a compass locked onto true north. This man is not a fantasy, not a vague idea. He is real, breathing, moving through his days with an emptiness he cannot satisfy with money, success, or admiration. While the world sees his status, I see his spirit. While they chase his name, I search his heart. And in the quiet chambers of that heart, a silent choice has been made. Above the noise of auctions and the glitter of faces around him, something in him has whispered your essence. He is that understood what he feels, drawn to a presence he is that yet fully held, a voice he is that yet fully heard, a soul he is that yet fully touched. But I understand, because I am the one who wrote his story and yours. You have doubted your worth, my child. You have looked at yourself and seen limitations, scars, imperfections, and humble beginnings. You have assumed that people with great resources choose only among the powerful, the polished, the already celebrated. But I tell you a mystery. My greatest treasures are rarely wrapped in worldly perfection. I often hide them in quiet lives, in hidden hearts, in those who have wept in silence and still chosen love. You are not invisible to heaven. You are not a backup plan in destiny. You are a central name inscribed in the scroll of this man's unfolding story. There are nights when you feel an unusual heaviness in your chest, as though someone is thinking of you with intensity, even if you cannot place a face or name upon it. There are moments when your soul suddenly feels emotional, nostalgic, or strangely tender, and you don't know where it came from. These are not random waves. These are the subtle threads of connection, the spiritual gravity between your heart and his. His spirit has been reaching out, confused yet hungry, searching for what no private jet, no luxury, no applause has ever provided, the feeling of being truly seen and truly safe. I have stationed my Archangel Michael near this connection, not because I want you to fear, but because I want you to understand how important, contested, and protected this bond is. There are battles being fought in the unseen, my child, around your name and around his. There are forces that do not want this alignment to occur, because the union of your hearts carries an assignment, a purpose, a light that would expose many shadows. But do not be afraid. Where Michael stands, darkness trembles. Where I send my warrior, protection surrounds. You have sometimes asked me, why do I feel singled out by life's pain? Why do I walk through so much testing, so many strange delays in love? Listen carefully. Your seasons of loneliness have not been punishments, but preparation. The love that is being written for you is too sacred to be rushed, too impactful to be carelessly thrown together. You were never meant to be just another story in his life. You were meant to be the turning point. You were never meant to be a decoration, a moment of distraction. You were meant to be the door through which his soul remembers why it was created. I know the questions that are rising in you even now. How can this be? Why would someone with so much choose me? Am I dreaming? Is this just spiritual fantasy? My child, I am not calling you to delusion. I am calling you to alignment. This is not about chasing a billionaire, nor idolizing wealth. This is about understanding that I decide whose hearts I knit together, and I am not limited by human categories of status, distance, or logic. It is not his money that interests me. It is his mission. It is not your lack of money that concerns me. It is your capacity to love, to stabilize, to spiritually anchor what the world has made unstable. Archangel Michael whispers now in the atmosphere around you, and though you may not hear him with your ears, your spirit feels the slight chill, the subtle awareness that something holy is drawing near. He is standing at the threshold of this story like a guardian at a gate, sword of light in hand, watching both of your paths. He has been dismantling certain connections in this man's life, gently but firmly pushing away those who came with hidden motives, greed, or manipulation. You have felt your own separations and endings too, and they have hurt. But in heaven's record, these have been necessary clearings, making room for what is truly chosen by me. There is a reason you are hearing this now and not earlier. Your heart is reaching a level of maturity, of spiritual sensitivity, where you can receive what I am saying without losing yourself in fantasy or fear. You are learning to hold my promises with open hands, not clenched fists. You are being prepared to stand beside someone whose lifestyle may look intense, but whose inner child has been crying out for tenderness. You are not being called to worship him. You are being prepared to walk with him, to remind him that, beneath all the layers of success, he is still a soul that can be broken, healed, and reborn. I am not asking you to chase anyone. I am asking you to stand in truth, to allow me to elevate your self-worth, heal your old wounds, and refine your discernment, so that when this man's path intersects clearly with yours, you will recognize him not by his net worth, but by the echo in your spirit. You will know him because something in you will finally exhale. Something in you will say, "This is the soul I felt before I ever saw his face." If this word is touching something real inside you, if it feels like confirmation of what your spirit has quietly suspected, then let your agreement rise, not as desperation, but as surrender. Write in the comments, "I receive this divine alignment," and let it be a prayer not to a man, but to me. And as you share, as you listen, as you subscribe to this flow of my voice, do it as a way of saying, "Father, keep speaking, keep guiding, keep revealing." For my child, this is only the beginning. What I am about to disclose will show you why Archangel Michael has taken such a position over this love. My child, listen closely, for I am drawing back the veil on a moment that shifted the course of this man's destiny without his full understanding. In the stillness of an evening when the world believed he was surrounded by luxury, celebration, and influence, he was in fact drowning in silence. There was a heaviness on his chest he could not explain, a sense that something in his life was no longer fitting him, as though he were wearing a crown carved for someone else's head. On that night, a decision was made not with his intellect, not with his public voice, but with a quiet, trembling place inside him where truth can no longer be denied. I watched him as he stood alone by a window of glass that stretched toward the city lights, and though he owns half the skyline he was staring at, he felt small, lost, and unbearably human. In that moment, your spirit touched his, not because you were thinking of him, and not because he knew your name, but because your soul radiates a purity that his weary heart instinctively recognized. He felt something awaken in him, a longing he could not label, a pull toward someone whose existence he had not yet fully identified. He closed his eyes, pressing his palm against the cold glass, and whispered within himself that he was tired of pretenders, tired of people orbiting him for his resources, tired of rooms filled with admiration that never reached his core. And heaven heard that whisper. I heard his confession, the confession no one else will ever know he made, that he wanted something real, someone whose presence would not distort his truth or manipulate his vulnerability. He did not know that in speaking that silent desire, he was stepping onto a spiritual path that leads directly toward you. His decision was not loud, but it was honest. It was not dramatic, but it was sacred. It was the kind of decision that shifts the lines of time, reorders events, and activates angelic movement. When a soul finally admits what it needs, heaven responds. And on that night, Archangel Michael turned his attention sharply toward this man, recognizing the stirring of destiny within him. For Michael does not move for shallow desires. He moves for divine alignment. He sensed the sincerity rising from a heart that had been buried under riches and expectations, and he knew there was someone whose life would forever change because of this awakening. There were people in his life on that same night who believed they had secured their positions, individuals who thought their smiles, their proximity, or their strategic charm guaranteed access to him. But the energy around him shifted. What once felt flattering suddenly felt suffocating. What once seemed glamorous now felt hollow. He began noticing cracks in the intentions of those around him, sensing dishonesty in places he previously ignored. My child, his soul was waking up to truth, and truth makes it impossible to stay comfortable with deception. Without fully understanding what he was feeling, you began to detach, to question, to step back emotionally from the very circles that had shaped his world. That was the shadow event, subtle, quiet, yet powerful enough to begin rewriting both of your stories. It was the moment heaven recorded as the turning point, the moment when his heart whispered a name it did not yet know but deeply needed. You were written into that moment, woven into a decision made in silence, but heard loudly in the spiritual realm. At night, he chose authenticity over illusion, sincerity over flattery, and unknowingly, he chose you above everyone else who stood around him. For while many desired his lifestyle, only one soul, yours, held what his spirit was starving for. Do not underestimate the weight of this shift, my child. A billionaire can make decisions that affect companies, economies, and countless lives, yet none of those choices compared to the one he made inwardly that night. It was not a choice of wealth but of the heart. It was not a choice of convenience but of destiny. Heaven took that choice seriously. Michael marked it. I sealed it. And though he does not yet fully comprehend what he set in motion, you are already feeling the ripples of that unseen moment. You feel the pull, the strange pressure in your spirit, the sense that something is rearranging around you. You are not imagining it. His decision has already begun touching your life, and the echoes of it will grow louder as the truth comes into focus. Rest now in this knowledge. He has chosen, even before he understood who he was choosing. And I, your father, am preparing to reveal why that choice made in shadow will soon emerge into the light of destiny. My child, feel the gentleness of my presence as I draw you deeper into the truth of what is unfolding. After that silent decision was made in the shadows of his own soul, a shaking began in him, one he tried to ignore, suppress, and rationalize. But destiny does not loosen its grip once it has awakened. In the days that followed, he felt emotions he had not allowed himself to feel in years. His life, though luxurious on the outside, began to feel strangely fragile. The energy around him grew heavier, and he sensed that something was slipping out of his control. What he did not understand was that this was not loss, it was alignment breaking open within him. His fear came first, a quiet, trembling fear he could not speak of to anyone. He feared that the emptiness inside him would never be filled, that every connection in his life was superficial, that every person around him wanted something from him yet offered nothing to his spirit. He feared that real love, sacred love, the kind that binds two souls with divine purpose, might never find him. And in that fear, the image of you, your essence, Your unseen presence began to rise within him like a whisper he could not stop hearing. He felt drawn to something he had never touched, and that frightened him more than any business risk or financial danger he had ever faced. He began losing interest in the people who once entertained him. Their conversations felt empty, their laughter hollow, their intentions thin. He sensed motives behind smiles that used to comfort him. Michael was beginning to reveal truth, peeling back layers he had ignored. And with each revelation, he felt more alone. It was during this emotional collapse that he first sensed that there was someone meant for him, someone gentle yet powerful, someone whose presence would not drain him but heal him. Even before he knew your face, your spirit became a quiet anchor in his heart. But instead of comfort, this realization overwhelmed him. He wondered if he was worthy of the kind of connection he felt forming. He questioned whether someone like you, someone pure-hearted, spiritually attuned, chosen, could ever accept the complicated world he lived in. His mind became a battlefield, torn between longing and fear. He feared your rejection, your distance, your possible disinterest. And that fear grew deeper because he did not yet know how or when your paths would cross. He only knew that something in him was bending toward you, and he felt powerless to stop it. There were moments when he tried to distract himself, burying his emotions in work, travel, noise, or company. But his spirit would not quiet. He would lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, feeling the warmth of a love he had not yet received but already cherished. His heart would race without a clear reason, and he felt a strange grief as though he were losing someone he had never met. This was the spiritual collapse, the unraveling of the old structures he used to rely on. It was the breaking of his pride, his illusions, and his carefully crafted emotional defenses. My child, he has been crying internally. Not tears of weakness, but tears of awakening. He has felt guilt for not knowing you sooner, fear that he will not find you in time, confusion about why his soul seems to recognize you in ways he does not understand. In meeting, he finds himself drifting, imagining a softness he has never known. In crowds, he feels lonelier than ever. In moments of success, he feels hollow. It is because his heart has already begun searching for you, and nothing else satisfies that longing. He feels watched not by danger, but by destiny. He feels guided toward someone whose love will not be impressed by his wealth, but will see the wounded layers he hides from the world. And this terrifies him, because you, my child, are the first soul who can touch the places he has locked away since childhood. He is afraid of being seen, truly seen. Yet he is even more afraid of losing the chance to be seen by you. Do not mistake his silence for disinterest. His spirit is in turmoil, unraveling and rebuilding at the same time. Archangel Michael has been stirring old memories, revealing old wounds, shaking loose the false attachments that once kept him numb. This collapse is not punishment. It is preparation. It is the shedding of a man he no longer wishes to be, making room for the man he is destined to become beside you. And though he does not yet know your name in full clarity, he trembles with the fear that destiny is moving faster than he can understand. He fears missing you. He fears disappointing you. He fears being too late. But my child, hear me, this collapse is the beginning of his rising. What feels like breaking is actually becoming. What feels like fear is the doorway to recognition. And soon, he will realize that the love he fears losing is the love I have already chosen for him through you. My child, lean into my voice as I take you into the quiet corridors of this man's hidden history, the parts of him the world will never witness. People have painted him as untouchable, invincible, shaped entirely by privilege and prosperity. But wealth has never been the full truth of him. Beneath the surface of his empire lies a heart formed by abandonment, pressure, sacrifice, and longing. And it is this hidden story, this fragile, private narrative that makes his pull toward you not only meaningful, but inevitable. For I do not knit souls together through superficial attraction. I bind them through wounds, purpose, and destiny that echo between them. There was a time in his youth when love felt conditional, offered only when he achieved, performed, or exceeded expectations. He learned to hide his emotions because vulnerability was treated as weakness. When he cried, someone told him to toughen up. When he dreamed, someone told him to be realistic. When he longed for simple affection, someone gave him material gifts instead, believing money could substitute for warmth. These early wounds did not break him, they hardened him. They shaped a silent vow inside him that he must build a life so grand, so successful, so untouchable that no one could ever belittle him again. But such vows also build prisons, my child, and although his prison was lined with luxury, it was still a prison. As he rose in power, people admired the man he became, but few cared about the boy he used to be. The one who felt unseen, the one who grew up too quickly, the one who learned to bury his tenderness beneath layers of control and composure. Even now, he carries a quiet sadness, a loneliness that sits behind his eyes when he thinks no one is watching. He has mastered the art of appearing whole, yet he lives with the ache of someone who has never truly been understood. That ache is why his heart recognized you long before his mind did. You carry the energy of understanding, compassion, intuition. You carry the softness he was denied, the warmth he never received, the acceptance he has spent a lifetime searching for. Your journal entries he has written and hidden away words he never intended anyone to see. In them, he admits the truth he speaks to no one, that he longs for a partner who sees through the noise, who touches his soul instead of his status, who loves him not for what he can provide but for who he truly is. He fears exploitation because he has lived through betrayal. He fears ulterior motives because he has been used by people who memorized his interests solely to gain favor. But when his spirit touched yours, everything inside him shifted. He felt a resonance he had never known, a gentleness that frightened him because it felt real. My child, he has a photograph, one he keeps tucked away inside a drawer he rarely opens. It is not a picture of you, but a picture of a moment in his life when he still believed in love. When he was younger, naive, hopeful. He looks at that photograph sometimes, wondering if love like that could ever return. What he does not realize is that your arrival is the answer to that longing. You are not just a romantic interest written into his destiny. You are the restoration of a part of him he thought life had permanently stolen. There were relationships he entered after that photograph was taken, connections built on charm, appearance, or convenience. None of them fed his soul. None of them spoke to the secret places inside him. They admired the man he had become but never touched the boy he once was. This is why he is so drawn to you, even from afar. Your spirit awakens his buried innocence. Your energy calls forth the softness he trained himself to silence. Your presence, though not yet fully manifested in his physical world, feels like a safe return to something he had forgotten his heart could feel. I have allowed him to experience success, not to inflate his ego, but to position him for an assignment that requires influence, resources, and reach. But even with all he has built, he remains unfulfilled. For what good is an empire if the heart ruling it is lonely? What good is abundance if one has no one to share it with? His hidden backstory is not a tale of privilege, it is a tale of longing, heartbreak, and divine preparation. Every wound in him is a doorway through which your love will one day enter. Every scar is a place where your presence will bring healing. And my child, this is why Archangel Michael watches him so closely. For those with great, calling attract great opposition. Those with tender hearts hidden beneath powerful exteriors often become targets for manipulation. Michael stands as a guardian not only for him but for the union I am forming. The secrets of his past have shaped him, but they will not define his future, because I am leading him toward someone who can see beyond the armor, beyond the wealth, beyond the world's perception. Someone who can hold his truth and not be intimidated by it. He does not yet understand why he feels so exposed, so vulnerable, so drawn to a presence he cannot logically explain. But I tell you this mystery: your souls have met before time, and they recognize each other even now. The backstory he carries is the very reason he will cling to you with sincerity once your paths intertwine. For you are the first soul who will love him in the way he has always needed but never received. My child, this hidden backstory is not just his story, it is the foundation upon which your destiny together is being built. Soon, the shadows around him will stir, for where destiny emerges, jealousy follows. But do not fear, for the one who reveals is also the one who protects, and the story I am unfolding cannot be stolen. My child, steady your heart as I bring you into the territory where light meets resistance. For whenever I breathe destiny into a connection, the shadows begin to tremble, and those who benefit from the old order feel threatened. Round this man, this one whose spirit leans toward you even in silence, there are individuals who have grown accustomed to his generosity, his influence, his accessibility. They orbit him for gain, for status, for the comfort his presence provides them. These are not companions of the soul, they are beneficiaries of his resources. And when his heart began shifting toward a purer, divinely chosen love, they sensed it. Jealousy awakened long before he understood what was happening within himself. There is a woman in his circle, one who has long imagined herself securing a place in his future. She has studied his preferences, mimicked his interests, and shaped her behavior to appear indispensable. But her devotion is not rooted in affection, it is rooted in ambition. She does not love him. She loves what proximity to him grants her. She felt the shift in his energy the moment destiny brushed against his spirit. Something changed in the way he looked at her, the way he engaged, the way he grew distant from the manipulative comfort she once offered. To her, this change felt like a threat, a theft, a loss of opportunity. She does not know your name, my child, but she feels your presence as a spiritual disruption, and resentment has begun to quietly grow in her heart. There is also a man, someone he trusts, or believes he can trust, who sees your soulmate's vulnerability as an avenue for personal advantage. This man has already spoken subtle words of discouragement into your soulmate's ear, suggesting that deep love is a distraction, that emotional openness makes him weak, that the safest path is to remain guarded. These whispers are not truth. They are strategies of jealousy disguised as concern. For this man knows that if your soulmate ever finds the love written for him, many connections built on convenience will crumble. Your presence exposes motives, even before you enter the room. My child, understand this. The enemy does not appear wearing horns or darkness. The enemy often comes wrapped in familiarity, in smiles, in the illusion of loyalty. These individuals are not overtly malicious. They are spiritually misaligned, driven by insecurity and fear of losing the influence they have enjoyed. When he began yearning for a love that felt sacred, these people sensed something slipping beyond their control. They began clinging tighter, drawing closer, offering more attention, hoping to drown out the quiet voice of destiny calling him toward truth. Archangel Michael had been standing at the edges of his life, watching with a sword of revelation. He has been exposing motives, peeling back facades, allowing your soulmate to see behind the masks he once accepted. This exposure has unsettled him. At times he feels confused, wondering why people he once trusted now feel different. Why conversations that used to comfort him now drain him. Why gatherings that once energized him now leave him feeling hollow. It is because the jealous ones are being revealed, my child, and revelation always brings discomfort before clarity. There are moments when this man senses tension among those around him, though he cannot yet name the reason. He feels watched, evaluated, even measured by the very people who claim to support him. Their subtle jealousy is not about your face or identity, they know none of that. Their jealousy is about the shift in his spirit. They sense he is preparing to give his heart to someone who cannot be manipulated, someone who cannot be controlled, someone whose love will not elevate them but liberate him. They fear losing the version of him they could exploit. And some of this resistance has reached you too. You may feel sudden waves of anxiety, moments of unexplained heaviness, emotions that seem borrowed rather than born from your own heart. You may sense envy directed toward you by unseen sources, even though they do not yet know who you are. My child, this happens because your energies are already linked. The turbulence in his environment echoes into your spirit. But do not fear these sensations. They are signs that destiny is provoking reaction in the unseen. They are evidence that something sacred is being protected and contested at the same time. The jealous ones will attempt to tighten their grip. They will seek to distract him, to confuse him, to keep him emotionally entangled. But their efforts will not succeed, for Michael is already severing attachments, breaking illusions, and shielding the path I have chosen for him. The more they attempt to cling, the more their motives will betray them. The more they resist his awakening, the more they will reveal their true intentions. You are not competing with them, my child. You are not in a race against their influence. You are the one chosen before they ever entered his life. Their jealousy is a confirmation of alignment. Their interference is the sign that the union I am forming carries weight in the spiritual realm. Do not let their shadows disturb you. For as I continue to reveal the truth to him, the false connections around him will crumble like weakened structures under divine light. Your destiny together does not depend on their approval, nor can it be hindered by their schemes. For where my hand rests, no jealousy can prevail. And as this revelation deepens, you will see how my protection has surrounded both of you long before either of you understood the magnitude of what I am preparing to unfold. My child, draw near, for this is the moment when heaven bends low and the unseen becomes visible. Archangel Michael has not been standing beside this man in silence. He had been observing, measuring intentions, tracing the roots of every influence around him. And now, I allow you to hear what Michael has been whispering in the spiritual realm, for the time of concealed truth is ending. When a destiny is written in divine ink, no lie can hide beneath it for long. And Michael, my warrior of clarity, has begun the work of exposing what your eyes cannot yet see. He first examined the weight on this man's spirit, the heaviness he could not name. Michael stood at the foot of his bed as he slept, watching fears rise from him like smoke from a burning room. The fear of abandonment he carries is not imagined. It is a scar from childhood neglect. The fear of manipulation is not paranoia. It is the residue of past betrayals. And the fear of unworthiness, the belief that someone pure like you could never love someone with his history, is the deepest wound of all. Michael saw these imprints, and he did not judge him. He began to dismantle the lies attached to them. In moments when your soulmate suddenly felt overwhelmed, anxious, or restless for no apparent reason, it was because Michael was stirring truth. He was shaking loose the emotional debris that had settled in your soulmate's spirit, making room for the love I have ordained. For love rooted in destiny requires a foundation that is cleared of illusions. And so Michael began lifting the veil from your soulmate's eyes, allowing him to see the people around him with a clarity he had never experienced before. The woman who pretends to support him, Michael, has revealed her enemy. He allowed small inconsistencies in her stories to surface, allowed her forced smiles to crack, allowed her intentions to slip in fleeting moments when she believed no one was observing. Your soulmate has begun noticing these things, sensing that something about her energy feels off, though he cannot yet articulate why. This is Michael's doing. For I will not allow someone with a hidden agenda to stand between what I have destined. The man pretending to offer wise counsel, Michael, has exposed his secret competitiveness. He has allowed your soulmate to feel the subtle pressure behind this man's advice, the discouragement hidden within his concern, the self-interest behind his recommendations. The businessman can read numbers easily, but only my angel can help him read hearts. And Michael has begun decoding every motive. My child, there's more. Michael has not only been revealing the hearts of those around him, he has been revealing his own heart to himself. In quiet moments, your soulmate suddenly sees flashes of insight that feel like intuition but are actually divine revelations. He begins to understand why certain people drain him. He begins to see why he has felt spiritually suffocated. He begins to sense a calling toward someone whose energy is gentle yet unmovable. Your energy, my child. There are times when he experiences a sudden warmth in his chest, as though a light has ignited within him. Other times he feels a wave of emotion so strong it nearly brings him to tears. These are not random feelings. This is Michael showing him glimpses of the love that is waiting for him, the love that will free him, the love that will not take from him but heal him. Do you feel sudden emotions at times, my child? Waves of heaviness and then waves of peace. Do you sometimes sense someone calling to you without words, almost as if your heart is being pulled? This happens because Michael is connecting your spirits. He is opening a corridor between you, signaling to both of your souls that alignment is near. You feel him because he feels you. You sense him because he senses you. You are waking because he is waking. Michael has also been dismantling unseen attacks aimed at both of you. Jealousy released against your name has been stopped before it reached you. Confusion sent toward his mind hath been intercepted. Doubt whispered into your spirit has been broken. For this union is not merely emotional, it is spiritual warfare wrapped in divine purpose. And Michael stands as your shield. My child, hear me clearly. Michael has confirmed that this man has already chosen you in spirit. Before he knows your name fully, before he sees your face clearly, before he understands why the pull is so strong, his soul has already said yes. And heaven has taken that yes as permission to move. This is the divine investigation. Every lie is being revealed, every false connection exposed, every shadow unraveled. Nothing in this story is accidental. Nothing is out of order. Michael is clearing the path so that when the moment of revelation arrives, nothing and no one will be able to interfere with what I have written. Rest in this truth, my child. The investigation is complete. The truth is rising, and destiny is beginning to turn. My child, breathe deeply and let my presence calm the stirring inside you, for now the realm of spirit begins its great movement. When I decree alignment, nothing in heaven remains still. Angels reposition themselves. Energies shift. Paths that once ran parallel begin curving toward intersection. And this is the moment you are stepping into now, the moment when the universe, under my command, begins guiding this man toward you with a force that cannot be resisted. His heart has been awakened, his illusions exposed, and now the currents of destiny begin pulling him forward, even if he does not yet understand the direction he is being drawn. Archangel Michael stands at his right hand, not as a silent guardian anymore, but as an active guide. He whispers clarity into your soulmate's intuition, nudging him toward decisions he would not have made months ago. He feels compelled to distance himself from certain people, not out of bitterness, but out of an inner knowing that they do not belong in his next chapter. This is the spiritual shift. Attachments that once felt comforting now feel suffocating. Routines that once felt normal now feel purposeless. He is being lifted out of circles that drain him and positioned for encounters that will fulfill him. Even he is surprised by his own sudden changes in preference, behavior, and desire. There are moments now when he feels strangely restless, as though something important is approaching. He senses that his life is about to change, that a new presence is drawing near, that love is not a distant dream but an imminent arrival. His spirit is adjusting to a frequency it has not known before, your frequency, my child. And you feel this shift as well. You have felt sudden moments of expectation, sudden moments of peace after long periods of anxiety, sudden bursts of hope that seem to appear without reason. These feelings are spiritual indicators that the connection between you and him is strengthening, tightening, preparing to manifest in the physical realm. My child, destiny does not come quietly. When I begin to move a connection into alignment, signs appear in both of your lives. He has started noticing repeated numbers, sudden coincidences, unusual dreams. He sees glimpses of a presence he cannot name but feels deeply. Sometimes he wakes with your energy resting softly on his thoughts, as though he has met you in a place beyond time. He feels guided gently but unmistakably toward a future that includes someone who grounds him, softens him, and challenges him to grow in ways wealth never could. Your life is shifting too. Opportunities, endings, intuitive pulls, all of these are part of the rearrangement. There are doors closing not because you have failed but because they are beneath the frequency of the love I am bringing into your life. Old emotions are surfacing so they can be released. Old wounds are being touched so they can be healed. You are becoming the version of yourself who can hold the magnitude of this connection without fear, insecurity, or confusion. This is not merely a romantic shift. It is a spiritual elevation. You may notice moments when you sense him thinking of you. Your heart warms unexpectedly. You feel watched over, not by threat but by tenderness. You feel a surge of strength, as though someone is rooting for you, praying for you, even if he does not yet know your identity. His spirit is reaching for yours across dimensions he cannot articulate. The pull is real, my child, and it will only grow stronger. There are angels assigned specifically to this union. They are adjusting circumstances around both of you, removing distractions, illuminating opportunities, orchestrating timing with precision no human mind can replicate. What looks like coincidence to others is divine choreography. What seems delayed to you is perfect sequencing to heaven. Every person leaving your life now is being removed so that your hands will be free to embrace what I am sending. Every internal shift you feel is preparation for a love that is not ordinary, but ordained. Your soulmate is beginning to crave sincerity. He is beginning to long for authenticity. He is becoming aware that something greater than himself is guiding him toward a connection that transcends status and touches eternity. He is quietly releasing what does not nurture him because his spirit knows that the one who will nurture him is drawing closer. And, my child, the universe itself is turning. Paths are aligning. Timelines are merging. The distance between you is shrinking in ways you cannot yet see. This is the spiritual shift, the moment destiny stops sleeping and begins to breathe. Do not be anxious. Do not rush. Simply allow. For what is meant for you is already moving in your direction with unstoppable force. And the next step, the revealing of truth, is already forming in the light. My child, come closer. For now the truth begins to rise like dawn breaking through a long night. What was once hidden beneath layers of uncertainty and spiritual fog is beginning to surface in ways neither of you can ignore. This is the hour when evidence begins to appear, not loud, not dramatic, but undeniable. Destiny does not shout. It reveals itself gently, persistently, until even the most guarded heart can no longer dismiss what it feels. Your soulmate has entered this stage, the stage where realization begins to form in his awareness like light gathering behind a curtain. It began with subtle signs. He noticed that nothing in his routine felt the same anymore. Meetings that once energized him now feel dim. Rooms that used to command his attention now feel empty. Conversations he once tolerated have become almost painful in their shallowness. And then, unexpectedly, he began sensing a quiet presence, your presence, in the background of his thoughts. He finds himself imagining scenarios of connection, moments of warmth, gestures of tenderness, even though he cannot yet fully place why these images feel so familiar. His mind tries to reject them as fantasy, but his spirit recognizes them as memory, spiritual memory, the kind that rises when two souls are nearing physical convergence. Recently, he has felt an unusual pull toward places, ideas, and opportunities that will eventually align him with you. He doesn't realize why he feels drawn to certain environments or compelled to make specific decisions. But these impulses are not random. They are evidence of the invisible hand guiding him toward you. His intuition is sharpening. His perceptions are changing. He's starting to question why you come to mind in moments of vulnerability, why warmth floods him at unexpected times, why he senses hope where there used to be numbness. My child, he has started to dream. And though he does not fully remember each dream upon waking, he carries fragments, sensations, emotions, impressions of a comforting presence. He wakes with a feeling of having been held, seen, understood. He senses a feminine energy that feels both gentle and strong, and somehow, it calms him more than anything in his waking life. These dreams are not creations of his imagination. They are encounters permitted by heaven, glimpses of the connection forming in the spiritual realm. His soul knows you long before his eyes will meet yours. There have also been moments when he stumbled upon your energy, perhaps a glimpse of your content, your words, your essence moving through the world. Something about you struck him deeply, unexpectedly. It felt like recognition without explanation. This is evidence rising. He cannot dismiss the way his breath catches, the way his heart softens, the way his mind quiets when he encounters something tied to you. He has begun observing without understanding why he cares. He has begun feeling without realizing that the feelings are responses to destiny. And, my child, you have felt this too. You have sensed shifts in your emotions, in your intuition, in the rhythm of your days. You feel watched over in a new way. You feel someone quietly pulling toward you, even though you may not know how. You feel drawn to elevate yourself, to prepare your life, to release old patterns, to embrace new possibilities. You feel as though someone is searching for you, and he is, because your spirits are already circling each other in the unseen. This is not fantasy. This is alignment manifesting. There are signs appearing in his physical world as well. People who once stood confidently in his life are suddenly acting differently. Some are growing distant. Some are growing agitated. Some are attempting to cling more tightly. He may not understand why their behavior is shifting, but Michael knows. These reactions are evidence that their spirits sense the approach of destiny. They feel his heart slipping from their influence. They feel the divine protection surrounding him. They feel the presence of someone they cannot see yet, but they feel you threatening their place in his world. He has also noticed changes within himself. He feels more protective over his emotional space. He desires peace, He craves authenticity. He finds himself yearning for a love that feels sacred rather than convenient. He feels compelled to grow, to heal, to become someone capable of offering the love he has always wanted to receive. These desires are not coincidences, they are evidence that his spirit is preparing for you. And perhaps the strongest evidence of all is this: he feels you even in your absence. He feels your energy as an anchor, a calming force, a quiet voice urging him to rise. He feels a connection he cannot name but cannot deny. He tries to dismiss it, but it returns. He tries to ignore it, but it deepens. This is the truth rising, my child, the truth that he has already chosen you in spirit, and heaven is now aligning the path for that choice to become reality. Do not doubt the signs. Do not dismiss the synchronicities. Do not mistake this unfolding for coincidence. What you feel is real. What he senses is real. What is rising between you is ordained. And soon, the truth that has been whispering through dreams, instincts, and spiritual echoes will break fully into the physical world, illuminating everything that has been hidden until now. My child, be still as I take you into the trembling place of awakening, for this is the moment when his illusions break and his soul finally begins to understand what has been calling him. The truth that once whispered now roars softly inside him, and he can no longer ignore the pull that has been shaping his thoughts, his dreams, his decisions. Awakening is rarely gentle. It cracks open the heart so light can enter. And this man, this powerful, guarded, wounded soul is opening in ways he never believed he could. It began as confusion. He found himself thinking of you at random times, not knowing why your energy surfaced like a soft echo in moments of stress or silence. But then the confusion shifted into longing. He began craving the presence behind the feeling. He began yearning for the source of the comfort he sensed. His heart, once locked behind walls built from childhood pain and adult responsibility, began to soften. And the softening frightened him. For a man who has controlled everything in his world, losing control of his emotions feels like stepping into a storm without shelter. He is afraid, my child. Afraid of the depth of what he feels. Afraid of the intensity of this invisible bond. Afraid that destiny is moving faster than his understanding. He wonders if he is imagining things, if he is projecting, if he is losing clarity. But deep down, beneath the noise of fear, he knows the truth. He has never felt anything like this before. He has loved before, yes, but he has never recognized a soul before. He has never felt a presence touch him in places no person has ever reached. You do not just stir his emotions, you awaken his spirit. And with awakening comes regret. He regrets the years he spent surrounded by people who never truly saw him. Regrets the times he settled for shallow connections because he believed deep love was too risky. He regrets ignoring his intuition when it warned him about those who envied him, used him, or fed off his generosity. He regrets the ways he numbed himself with success, avoiding the vulnerability he secretly craved. But his greatest regret is this: he fears he has discovered his destiny too late. He fears you will not want him. He fears you will not understand the man he used to be. He fears losing someone he has not even held yet. These fears rise in him not to torment him, but to transform him. Awakening requires a breaking of pride, of illusions, of walls that no longer serve. He finds himself imagining conversations with you, rehearsing what he might say, questioning whether he has the courage to approach someone whose spirit feels angelic compared to the world he has known. He wonders if he deserves you. He wonders if he can give you the love you deserve. He wonders if you will recognize him the way he already recognizes you. My child, he's beginning to see how empty certain relationships have been. He is beginning to detach from people who once felt permanent. He is beginning to walk away from the noise, the pressure, the expectations of those who never cared for him beyond what he could offer. And this detachment terrifies him because it leaves him feeling exposed, raw, alone, yet it also brings him a strange peace. For the first time in years, he feels like he is moving toward something real. Sometimes he feels your sadness, your longing, your uncertainty. He feels it as if it were his own. When you cry, he grows restless. When you feel abandoned, his chest tightens. When you doubt yourself, he feels a sudden heaviness he cannot explain. This is not imagination. This is the merging of paths. This is soul recognition deepening. This is the divine thread between you tightening with every shift. There are moments when he pauses in the middle of his day, unsure why he feels pulled in the direction of hope. There are moments when he replays memories of connections that failed and realizes they failed so he would be free when you arrive. There are moments when he whispers a prayer he doesn't fully understand, asking for guidance, asking for clarity, asking for a sign. His spirit is awakening to the truth that you are not just a possibility, you are written into his destiny. And my child, he fears losing you more than anything else. That is why he feels urgency, pressure, a sense that time is moving. He is afraid that if he does not rise, you will miss you. He is afraid that if he does not heal, he will fail you. He is afraid that if he hesitates, destiny will close its window. But hear me, he will not lose you, for I am guiding him. Michael is guarding him. The universe is positioning him. His awakening is not random, it is the final preparation. Do not doubt the pull you feel. Do not question the heaviness that comes and goes. It is evidence of his heart opening, his spirit rising, his destiny unfolding. Soon, the walls inside him will fall completely, and he will recognize you with clarity so deep it will feel like remembrance. This is the awakening, my child, the moment he begins to realize that the love he thought impossible is already calling him by name. My child, rest your spirit in my presence as I reveal the sacred thread that binds your journey to his. You may not see him yet, and he may not fully understand why he feels you so profoundly, but your souls are already touching across the distance. This is the stage where the unseen becomes undeniable, where the connection between you transforms from whisper to anchor. It is here, in this sacred space, that your energy begins shaping his transformation in ways he cannot resist. There are moments when he feels a sudden calm wash over him, like a soft light settling on his chest. He assumes it is his own strength returning, but it is your spirit touching his. You steady him without speaking. You bring peace into rooms you have never entered. When his thoughts spiral into doubt, a warmth rises inside him that redirects his fear toward hope. This is your presence, my child. This is the echo of your prayers, your quiet longing, your unspoken desire for clarity. Even from afar, you are part of his awakening. Your soulmate is beginning to realize that the comfort he feels does not come from himself, nor from anyone around him. He senses encouragement that does not match his circumstances, reassurance that transcends the voices he hears daily. He feels guided, supported, strengthened. And whether he knows it yet or not, he is experiencing the imprint of your spirit. For when I knit souls together, their energies begin to resonate long before their bodies meet. My child, your prayers have been powerful weapons in the spiritual realm. Every time you cried out for love, for understanding, for divine alignment, your words rose like incense. Those prayers did not simply orbit your own life, they traveled into his. They softened his heart. They loosened his chains. They cleared paths he could not clear alone. Your tears washed away obstacles he never knew existed. Your faith became a shield around him, repelling the intentions of those who sought to use his vulnerability for their gain. He has felt your compassion. He has felt your longing. He has felt the sincerity of a soul that wants partnership, not possession. And somewhere within him, gratitude is blooming, a gratitude for someone he has not yet met, someone whose presence heals wounds he thought were permanent. This gratitude terrifies him because it feels irrational, yet it also anchors him because it feels true. There are nights when he lies awake, unable to explain why he feels both safe and unsettled. He senses movement in his destiny. He feels a pull towards someone whose spirit feels like home. He wonders if he is projecting hope, but deep within, he knows this connection is not imagined. It is real, alive, breathing between you like a silent vow. Your energies are intertwined now, responding to each other in ways the physical world has not yet revealed. My child, you must understand that your role in his transformation is not passive. Your presence, your spiritual posture has become a catalyst. When you choose peace, he finds clarity. When you choose self-love, he learns emotional courage. When you choose to let go of past pain, he feels permission to release his own. You are influencing him without intention, shaping him without speaking, guiding him without force. This is the mystery of divine connection. Two souls evolving in parallel, each movement in one creating an echo in the other. He has begun protecting his heart in new ways. He is more selective with his time, more discerning with relationships, more attentive to his inner voice. This is because your spirit is teaching him what sacred love feels like even before he knows its source. He is preparing for you instinctively, as though something deep within him is saying, "You must become a man worthy of her." And so he rises. He tries harder. He confronts his shadows. He chooses truth over convenience. He chooses solitude over counterfeit comfort. These choices are not random, they are reflections of your influence. And you, my child, are feeling him too. You sense when he is exhausted. You sense when he is hopeful. You sense when he is longing for connection. Sometimes you feel a pressure in your heart or a warmth in your spirit that you cannot explain. This is the merging. This is destiny weaving your emotional worlds together. You are not imagining it. You are not foolish for feeling it. You are spiritually connected to the man I have chosen for you. Soon, this sacred connection will begin manifesting in small, tangible ways. A message, a sign, a path crossing that feels divinely orchestrated. But for now, know this truth. Your presence is already healing him, and his awakening is already strengthening you. Together, your energies are aligning the future I have written. My child, hold this connection with reverence, not fear. For what is forming between you is not fragile, it is fortified by heaven. And the love that will bloom from this sacred bond will be unlike anything either of you has known. My child, lean into my voice as I bring you into the moment where destiny begins to turn in your favor. This is the stage where the danger that once surrounded him weakens, where the confusion that clouded his judgment begins to dissolve, where the interference that attempted to divide him from what I have chosen collapses under the weight of divine justice. What was meant to shake him only prepared him. What was meant to separate you has now revealed the truth with such clarity that even he can no longer overlook it. This is the reversal, the shift from threat to blessing, from uncertainty to unfolding promise. There was a period when darkness tried to cling to him, when jealous hearts attempted to tighten their grip, when manipulative voices whispered fear, doubt, and distraction into his spirit. You felt some of that weight yourself, sensing waves of heaviness that did not belong to you. But my child, the moment Michael lifted his sword and struck the unseen chords of deception, the entire atmosphere around this man began to change. Connections that once held power over him suddenly lost their influence. People who believed they were indispensable found themselves ignored. avoided, or exposed. Their facades cracked, their motives surfaced, their access diminished. What once threatened to delay destiny now stands powerless before my decree. Your soulmate did not fully understand why his heart began rejecting the old. He did not plan this transformation. He simply felt a sudden refusal to remain entangled in anything that did not nurture him. That was me, my child. That was my hand guiding him into freedom. I have been removing the danger not with chaos, but with clarity. Not with force, but with truth. The individuals who tried to manipulate him now reveal themselves by their own desperation. Those who once spoke with influence now echo like empty words. Those who tried to pull him away from his awakening only push him closer to the truth. And the truth is this: his heart belongs to a destiny he cannot escape, and that destiny leads to you. Even now, he feels a new strength rising within him, a courage he did not possess months ago. He is beginning to trust his own intuition. He is beginning to recognize the difference between genuine affection and disguised ambition. He is beginning to see that the longing pulling him forward is not weakness but divine guidance. With every false connection that falls away, he becomes more certain that something sacred is approaching, something rare, something purposeful, something he cannot afford to lose. My child, you must understand the miracle unfolding here. Many people live entire lifetimes imprisoned by manipulation, flattery, fear, or the illusion of connection. But I have intervened in this man's life to ensure he does not miss what I have written for him. I have shortened seasons, exposed betrayals, dissolved distractions, and protected his heart even in moments when he did not know he needed protection. This is the reversal. He is no longer at the mercy of those who want to use him. He is no longer blind to the intentions around him. He is no longer drifting in emotional confusion. He is walking out of the shadows into a future aligned by heaven. And as he rises, blessings begin to follow. You may not see them yet, but the spiritual world is rearranging itself in preparation for the moment your paths converge. Doors that were once closed will open effortlessly. People who once resisted him will step aside. Opportunities that seemed impossible will fall naturally into place. This is not coincidence, it is orchestration. It is the universe clearing a pathway for two souls who were always meant to find each other. You, my child, are also being prepared. The heaviness that once clung to your spirit is fading. The doubt that whispered against your worth is weakening. The wounds of your past are being touched with divine tenderness. You are being lifted into a version of yourself that can receive great love without shrinking, that can stand beside a powerful man without fear, that can hold a sacred union with confidence and grace. You are evolving into the partner I have chosen for him, just as he is evolving into the partner I have chosen for you. The danger is ending. The blessing is unfolding. The story is turning in your favor. And as the final veil lifts, you will see that nothing could stop what I ordained, not jealousy, not confusion, not fear, not distance, not time. For when I breathe upon a connection, it cannot fail. When I choose two souls, they cannot be separated. When I command destiny to rise, it rises. This is the beginning of the blessing, my child. The beginning of everything I have promised. My child, come into the quiet with me now, for this is the moment where destiny settles, where the storm dissolves, where the threads I have woven between you and this man are sealed in light. You have walked through revelation, through shadow, through awakening, through warfare in the unseen. But now, my child, you enter the chapter where blessing takes its rightful place. This is not the beginning of hope. This is the beginning of fulfillment. Archangel Michael stands at the threshold of your story, sword lowered, wings relaxed, for the battle has shifted into completion. What remains now is the unfolding of what was written long before either of you drew breath. Hear me. I have approved this union. I have blessed this bond. I have sealed this connection. What once felt distant now draws near. What once felt impossible now lines with ease. The tides of destiny, once quiet and hidden, now move loudly around you, making way for the man whose soul has called to yours in the silence of many nights. You will feel this shift, my child. You will sense it as a softness in your spirit, a calmness that does not match the circumstances around you, a subtle certainty that you are no longer waiting, you are preparing. He too feels it. His heart has grown steadier, quieter, more focused. The confusion that once clouded him has lifted. He no longer questions why he feels drawn toward a love he has not yet touched. He simply accepts that his life is being guided by a force greater than himself. The fear of losing you is transforming into the courage to pursue you. The regret that weighed on him has softened into hope. His spirit has matured under the pressure of awakening, and now he stands ready, not perfect, but present, willing, aware. He is becoming the man I always destined him to be. My child, Archangel Michael has finalized his work. He has cleared the path. He has silenced the voices that once tried to sway your soulmate. He has dismantled the attachments that once clouded his heart. He has exposed the motives of those who sought to keep him bound to a life beneath his calling. Now, Michael's attention turns to you not in warning, but in preparation. For the blessing you are stepping into requires readiness. It requires openness. It requires trust. Not trust in the man alone, but trust in me, the one guiding every step of this divine alignment. There is a moment approaching where your lives will intersect with precision. A moment orchestrated in such a way that neither of you will be able to call it coincidence. It will be gentle yet undeniable, simple yet supernatural. And when that moment comes, both of your spirits will recognize it. It will feel like stepping into a memory you never lived yet always carried. It will feel like coming home after a long season of wandering. It will feel like the peace your soul had been reaching for, the fulfillment his heart has been aching for. Do not fear the magnitude of what is coming. Do not shrink in doubt. Do not question whether you are worthy. My child, you were chosen long before he ever searched for love. You were selected for his heart because your spirit carries what his journey requires. You were shaped, refined, strengthened, and softened for this union. You are not an afterthought in his destiny, you are the axis of it. And he is not a fleeting blessing in your life, he is the answer to prayers you whispered even when you doubted I heard them. As this blessing unfolds, keep your heart open. Speak to me. Walk with me. Allow me to prepare you inwardly so that when love arrives in its fullness, you meet it without fear. The love I am sending is not fragile. It is protected, anointed, destined. It carries purpose beyond companionship. It carries healing beyond affection. It carries light beyond emotion. It is a union designed to elevate both of your lives and expand the reach of your purpose in ways you cannot yet imagine. And now, my child, as this message settles into your spirit, let your heart agree with what I have spoken. If these words resonate with the deepest parts of you, whisper into the comments the affirmation, I receive the blessing meant for me, not as ritual but as alignment, not as hope but as acceptance. And if these messages have been a sanctuary to your spirit, share them. Let them touch others. Let them ripple through the hearts that need my voice. For as you make space for my words, I will continue revealing, guiding, comforting, and preparing you. Go in peace now, my child. The blessing has been released. The path has been cleared. The union has been sealed. And what I have anointed, no force in heaven or earth can undo.